here we go again. So, I wanted to preface this video before I actually jump into the actual topic. Apologize for the live stream being on a Sunday versus a Saturday, but I'm kind of debating between the two. If I want to do it Saturday nights, Sunday nights. That isn't the preface, by the way. That's just like my things that I'm putting out there in this video as well. The timing is about right, 7:30, a little after. But wanted to kind of put that out there first. Now, as far as the preface goes, I do know that this topic is definitely, I don't want to say it's a hot topic, but it's definitely a touchy topic. It's definitely a soft topic with a lot of people because cancer has affected the majority of people. I'm pretty sure in men, it's like you have a 40+% chance of developing some type of cancer in your life. And for women, I think it's about 35% chance. So I feel like, what is that? Almost, 4 out of 10. What is that? I can't even do math. 2 out of 5. So 2 out of 5 men are affected by cancer and 1 out of 3 women. So it's kind of a high number. So, excuse me. I understand the softness or the touchiness of the topic. So please understand that I am going to try and approach this in a more calm, not super uppity, not super all over the place way. I'm still going to bounce around because that's the way I do my videos. But I did want to kind of preface with that information because I don't want anyone to think that I'm just talking out of my ass or I'm just kind of blowing smoke because I do have a basis of knowledge in this topic and have a decent hard opinion on it as well. So just kind of want to put that out there at the beginning of the video. So sorry, I have to cough a little bit because I'm dying still. Anyways, so without further ado, we'll get into it. So here we go. Hello, everybody out there. So for today's video, I wanted to do a video, as it says in the title, on cancer. Didn't really know what to call the video, so I put cancer is bullshit. This video is a video that I actually, ironically enough, did a video on about 4 or 5 years ago. It's not a video that I've seen as far as like popped up on my timeline, but I did do a video on it, ironically enough, 4 or 5 years ago. And since then have done more research on the topic and have developed a pretty strong opinion on it that really hasn't changed over the last 4 to 5 years. One thing I do want to say to preface this video is I know, like I said, it's a soft topic. It's kind of a touchy topic, maybe, rather is the better way to put it. So I do understand that it does affect a lot of people. I did say at the beginning, and I'll say it again, it's roughly 40% or a little bit above of men end up experiencing some type of cancer in their life, and women it's about 35%. So it's something that affects all of us, friends, family, ourselves, and so I understand that it is a serious thing. So I'm going to try and be as serious as I can. I'm still going to be my animated self. I'm still going to bounce around, but I just don't want it to come off as a unserious topic when I know that it is. My further preface on where a lot of my knowledge has come from is 2 years ago. I guess it was 3 years ago. 3 years ago, my dad was diagnosed with stage 4 spinal cancer. And about a year later after that, a little bit less than a year, he passed away from stage 4 spinal cancer, which is some crazy shit because it didn't take very much time. And like I said, the point of this video is to, one, express my opinion on cancer and then also express my opinion on cancer treatment and kind of just give some alternatives that I think are helpful. So getting right into it, as far as my thoughts on cancer and kind of overall. So obviously it's a serious topic. Obviously it affects a lot of people. But if I'm being 100% honest, I'm kind of jumping into like the hard truth bucket really quickly in this video. But overall, cancer, the reason why I said it is bullshit is because there have been, and I'm not trying to get into like conspiracy theories and all this other shit. So like, please understand that I'm not trying to go off on some crazy weird Bigfoot tangent. But there have been lots of claims and studies of cancer being cured, whether it was through medication, prescriptions, herbal supplements, whatever it may be. And a lot of times those have been kicked under the rug and those people have disappeared, their research has disappeared, and lo and behold, we still have no solution. And again, like I said, a lot of the research I did was over the year span that my dad had stage 4 cancer. And you start looking into some hard numbers and it starts to like kind of shock you. So I believe it was 2018 was like the most recent data I could find at that time. Obviously, in the U.S. alone had spent like $60 billion on cancer research. And that's the U.S. That's billion with a B. Not to say how much other countries had spent that year, not to say how much money was spent before that or how much money has been spent since then, and we still don't have effective cancer treatments. We still don't have cures for cancer. We still have not progressed as much as I would like to say. You'll see some studies that'll show you like, oh, the survival rate has increased significantly, like year over year, decade over decade, but it still is so confounding to me to believe that we don't have a cure or something that's more effective. I mean, you look at COVID-19, I understand it's different than cancer, but COVID-19, within the first 6 months, we went from having the answer of a doctor saying, hey, yeah, you're kind of screwed, like, I'm sorry, to, okay, we have steroids we can give you, we have other things that we can give you to help you, like, fight through it and increase your survival rate. And then now, what, a year later, we have a vaccine that's supposed to help you not contract COVID and be able to be, like, healthy and safe and have no worries. So that's 1 year of one issue that affected, in reality, it affected a lot of people, but again, it's not the same amount of people even remotely that are affected and that are, you know, not killed, I guess, killed by, but that die from cancer every single year here in the United States. So when we really start to look into it, like, in my humble opinion, like I said, this is the controversial part of this video, is that at the end of the day, in my humble opinion, big pharma, big corporations in America, they don't want there to be a cure. They don't want people to have easy access to where they're cured and it's good to go, and then they're spared and they survive. Because at the end of the day, the treatments that we currently have, whether it's radiation or chemotherapy, are very expensive. Doctors get kickbacks from, like, whether you believe it or not, it really doesn't matter. You can go Google it, research it. But doctors do get kickbacks from prescribing these things. These corporations make hundreds of millions and billions of dollars from these treatments, and they're shown that they don't work that effectively. There are some studies out there that I've read, again, like a couple years ago, that showed in, like, studies of children who had chemotherapy, they rated the severity of, like, the treatment, how it affected their bodies on a scale from 1 being they had no side effects or, like, bad effects from the chemotherapy, and 5 being that they died from it, like, specifically from chemotherapy. And I want to say it was 90% were rated 3 or higher, and that being 3 meaning they had, like, decent negative side effects that required medical attention, all the way up to, like, 4 meaning, like, they're possibly going to die from chemotherapy alone, and 5 being death. Obviously, there wasn't a lot of people that fell into 5, because if that was the case, a lot of people obviously wouldn't be utilizing chemotherapy as, like, a means to treat cancer. But again, some of the things that we use to treat cancer, treat different types of cancer, are not that effective. They do have super negative side effects that can lead to you passing away. I want to say the most recent study was like 62% of people that get chemotherapy pass away. So it is obviously not doing a whole hell of a lot for, you know, the overwhelming percentage of people that end up utilizing chemotherapy. Not to say even, or not even to mention, like, how expensive it is and how much money you're going to spend to fight cancer with means that just aren't that effective. So this kind of leads me into, like, what I said is that if there was more natural means to actually cure cancer, if there was more natural ways to cure cancer that were, like, actually publicized, that were actually documented, that were actually studied by medical professionals, it would take away from money that this big pharma is getting from these other means and sources of curing, or, like, treating more so cancer, especially in the United States. So if you really think about it, like, they don't, like, I hate to be, like, the bearer of, like, the shitty news, but it's the truth. It's like I said, it's the truth bucket. It's like, if there already was a cure, they wouldn't want to give a cure, because the cure is going to be a one-time, here you go, this will get rid of it, like, have a good day, no stress, no mess. But with chemotherapy, radiation, those are things that you can do multiple times. And a lot of times the cancer might go away and then it'll come back. So it's something that they can get you hooked on that'll keep going. And again, like I said, it's kind of morbid and shitty sounding, but at the end of the day, like I said, if you really do your own research, which I always recommend for everything that I talk about that has anything to do with, like, controversial topics, like, you'll see a lot of what I'm saying is very, very true. I would hope that you see that all of it's true, but I'm saying that the vast majority of it is probably statistically correct as well. Which leads me into the back half of the video, which is, like, a little bit less morbid and a little bit more of my opinion. I've done this in one other video, but I'm going to do it again. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not telling you what you should or shouldn't do. I'm telling you to do your own research, to look this stuff up for yourself and see what you see. But these are other ways that I believe that you can mitigate or slow down or possibly stop cancer. And again, this is my opinion, and my opinion alone. I'm not a medical professional, so I'm not giving you any advice or telling you this is an absolute fact. It's just my opinion. There's a couple compounds. One is a vitamin, even though technically it's not a vitamin. If you look it up, you type in vitamin to help with cancer and you'll find it. I'm not going to tell you what it is, and I would love to tell you. But again, I'm worried about, I guess, my liability end of it, but I do want to put that out there. And there's another drug, because it is a drug, that I am aware of, who I know people that have taken it before for other purposes, but it also has studies that have shown that it mitigates and can kill cancer cells in the body. So it's like, if these things do that, why haven't the studies been done? There have been some studies done, but they're very minuscule, they're underfunded. They're a long time ago when it was first discovered, and it's shown that it's like, hey, it works on some cancer types and it doesn't work on others, but then it's pushed under the rug and act like, oh no, it doesn't work because it can have negative side effects. Well, I hate to be the asshole again, but like, if you're in stage 3 or stage 4 cancer, like I said, I hate to be an asshole, but like, unfortunately, like, if you don't do something about it, like, you're gonna have the end result being like what happened to my dad. Like, he passed away from stage 4 cancer. So you got to sit there and think, like, wouldn't it make sense to like try this shit if it's going to possibly mitigate or stop or repair the damage that's being done, versus just, you know, not doing anything or doing things that are shown scientifically not to be as effective. Other things that I would tell you that I do recommend personally is you can do like an alkaline diet. There's studies that have shown that an alkaline diet is going to be helpful for a couple different reasons. Number one is that it's also going to very, very closely resemble like a ketogenic diet. The ketogenic diet is pretty much when you cut out carbs in your diet, you're eating primarily fats and a lot of fats and some protein. The benefits of the ketogenic diet, which again, like I said, is if you're in an alkaline state, if you're in an alkaline diet, it does set you up in a position where you're going to be in ketosis more than likely, because in ketosis, like I said, you cut out all those carb sources. So the benefit of that is that cancer feeds on sugar. It feeds on glucose, which is sugar in your body. Sorry, I'm reading the comments. It does feed on sugar or glucose, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. Carbohydrates, essentially speaking. So if you're in a ketogenic diet, you're going to cut out those carbs. So you're going to limit the amount of actual sugar that cancer cells can feed on to actually grow and multiply and expand in your body. So alkaline diet's going to set you up for a ketogenic diet, because they're very, very similar as far as like what they're recommending for you to eat. It's a lot of like fruits, vegetables, limited protein, and like healthy fats in an alkaline diet. So it's going to very, very closely match the ketogenic diet. So both of those things are kind of like a tip in one. The other benefit of the alkaline diet or being in an alkaline state is the fact that there are some studies, and again, like I said, it's why I'm telling you, like, there's studies out there that are so, I don't want to say debated, but they're rebuked so much in the community, even though they've proven to be helpful in cancer treatment or cancer mitigation. But people that want to make money are going to obviously say, no, that's bullshit, it doesn't really work, or like, maybe it works, we're not sure, we can't prove anything. But yet they don't do more studies on that same thing that has shown to be helpful. And why would you not do that? You wouldn't do that because if you know that it's going to be helpful and it's something that they don't have to pay tens of thousands of dollars for, they don't need you, man. So like, of course they're not going to put more money into those studies. So within an alkaline diet, another thing that's really great about it is that their studies have shown that cancer actually grows quicker in a acidic or non-alkalinized state. There we go, Jesus. So again, it is going to be more helpful for you if you're on an alkaline diet. So another thing after that kind of like goes with the whole making your diet or making your body be alkalinized. I can't say the word, but it doesn't really matter. I said it at the beginning, is trace minerals. So another study has shown, you can literally get this at like Vitamin Shop. I'm sure you can get it at like online. Like Trace Minerals is an actual company. Again, I have no affiliation with them whatsoever, but they make a product. So does Vitamin Shop, like the company. It's called Trace Mineral Drops or liquid. You put it in your water. There are studies that have shown that it actually will help like decrease the acidity or your pH level and make it lower so that you're more alkalinized in your body. So it is something that is actually very, very helpful to continue that process of making your body more alkalinized, because in trace minerals, it's going to have like potassium, sodium, and all the different minerals that your body needs that most of our diets don't have. And again, if you look at a lot of studies, there's a lot more cancer studies that show that our westernized diet is a big cause. And why? Because the foods are so acidic, there's so many additives. So if you go to more, instead of like an alkalinized diet, keto diet, and stay away from processed foods, that naturally helps your body be more alkalinized, in addition to like adding trace minerals in there, which is what you need to be more alkalinized as well. Another random thought that I read a long time ago as well was, if you look in like nature, like people go hunting, it's very uncommon that you see deer or other animals that have cancer in their body. Why is that? Because a lot of it is coming from our food. A lot of it is coming from the acidity of the shitty food, processed food, pesticide food, all the shit that they put in our food. So again, if you're going more of the natural route, you're doing an alkalinized diet, if you're being more careful with your food choices, it's definitely going to impact cancer growth, cancer size, and also like if you don't have cancer, it's going to put you in a better position to not develop it, because you are going to be mitigating the higher acidity in your body. So one more random fact that I want to throw out there, because I don't think people know this, and again, it's another study that was done. You're gonna have to dig for it though. I'm not gonna go in and link all this shit, because I just feel like I want people, if you really want to know about this, go Google it. There's another trace mineral or a mineral. It's called selenium. Selenium has been shown in studies to reduce the chance of women getting breast cancer, and also like mitigating some of the negative effects of like if you start to develop breast cancer. There was a study done, and I'm not bullshitting you, there was a study done that said that if women use, and I don't know the exact dosage, so I'm sorry, again, you're gonna have to Google it if you really want to know, but there was a study done, I think it was 200 milligrams, but like I said, I don't know, of selenium for women. If they did that every single day, within 2 generations of women, we would decrease the amount of breast cancer by 50%. And if you think about that, if one mineral is going to cost you $10 for 2 months, is going to cut down breast cancer by 50% for the after 2 generations, why would we not do that? Why is that not publicized? Why do more people not know that? And the answer to the question is that Big Pharma does not give a fuck about anyone. All they care about is dollars and cents. That is the real truth. And again, that's, like I said, that's all my opinion, but I believe it with all of like my heart and all of my soul. So all I can say is that if there are things out there that are going to effectively mitigate, slow down, stop, kill cancer, that is going to have less negative side effects, like for example, I said at the very beginning of like my recommendations, is that vitamin. Like I said, if you go Google vitamin and cancer, or cancer reduction from a vitamin, it'll pop up on there. I swear it will somewhere, and you'll know because you've never heard of it before. If the negative effects of taking that type of supplement is it could possibly kill you, well then if you're in stage 3 or stage 4, like, not to be an asshole, but like, what's the difference between doing chemo or radiation, knowing that it's probably going to kill you, because the studies show that 60% of people or more die from those things, than trying to take a supplement that a lot of people, word of mouth, have said has helped them cure cancer. Like, and if it does have those negative side effects that also kill you, like, you're kind of juggling with like the reality of the situation. Like, if both of them are going to have the possible outcome, I would rather take something that's not been taken for decades, that's shown that's what's going to happen. I would rather take something that people are saying has worked for them. And again, with this whole vitamin thing, like I said, I'm not trying to go on this crazy ass rant and be like this crazy person, but at the end of the day, I have met someone before who has taken it. They have taken it. They had prostate cancer. I believe it was stage 3 or stage 4. I can't remember. His name was Richard. I have met him. He's the one that told me about it. And he told me that he took that. He did trace minerals. He got alkalinized for his diet. He did keto in addition to, so he's minimizing his carbs. And he ended up going back in, I think it was like a year later after like being diagnosed stage 3, stage 4. And he went back in and the doctor was like, it doesn't even look like you've ever had prostate cancer before, ever. So I'm telling you, please do your research. Please realize that there is alternative methods out there. I think the hardest thing for me in this process a couple years ago was learning that there were so many alternative ways to mitigate cancer cell growth, to mitigate like actual cancer cells and like kill them off in the body essentially. But the problem is a lot of the research that I did, I was finding out as my dad got more sick, so that by the time I was able to pass it on, it was already at the point in time where it was too late. And there was nothing really that could be done. So again, this is all informational. This is my opinion. These are my thoughts. This is what I think. like I said, just something that came up recently and I wanted to talk about it. I felt compelled to have the conversation, at least put the content out again. Like I said, I know that I did a video on it, and like I said, I saw it and I was like, I want to do this again. Put it out on this channel, put out this information again. Hopefully it changes people's perspective on the situation. Hopefully it helps some people mitigate. So like I said, if you get alkalinized, if you're taking trace minerals, if you're doing those kind of things, selenium, stuff like that, and do your research, you can probably mitigate the chances of you getting it in the first place. In addition to, if I'm being 100% honest, I told you there are other things out there. One of them, like I said, I can't tell you what it is. Like I can't even hint at it because it's like super duper illegal and it's really bad for you. But again, it has studies that show that it can kill cancer cells. So it's just kind of a weird world that we live in. Anyways, the whole point of these videos that I've been doing for a couple months now is to help 100 million people. And I say that every video, but I really mean it. And I know this video is a little bit of like the conspiracy theory, Ethan, where I'm telling you my controversial opinion about something. But hopefully this little bit of information gives you hope if you do have cancer, if you know someone who does, or if you want to mitigate the possibility of you developing it later in life just by making small little choices. Like I said, a lot of essential vitamins that we miss